I'm having this conversation with this guy, religious guy, and he's out telling me that I worship Satan and I'm all evil. And so I wanted to post more or less a response. Whether he's listening or not, I don't really care. It's more of, okay, obviously this conversation is happening in my experience for a reason. I'm making these tapes, so I'm going to reflect back on some of the conversations I'm having. So it's like, if you want to have a conversation with me, don't be scared of the story I'm going to tell, and sort of look at the position that you put yourself in, and reflect on yourself a little bit. Okay, first of all, the big picture, okay, is, our globe is, we're running out of time in trying to stop this Armageddon. And I'm seeing a lot of Christians just sort of pray and look forward to, and there's no stopping this Armageddon. And when you look at it from that perspective, you're putting an awful lot of energy into creating it. And there's zero effort in trying to stop it. I'm not seeing any effort from any religious person that's actually motivated to prevent everything that's going on. And most of the talk, with these Christians is, you got to save yourself before you die. That's the only way you're going to be at one with God. And for some reason, they're so motivated to manipulate other people to believe and hold the same beliefs as them, which they can't even understand that what they believe in is actually sin. So what they're trying to do is get all of humanity to sin and sin a lot more, and then think that we're all going to be saved by that, while they look at the fact that we're not even going to stop Armageddon. And part of this guy is saying, like, he's trying to prove to me that he's at one with God. And it's like, okay, prove to me what have you done? What have what do you how do you make your living? Where are the fruits of your good works? So I kind of asked him what he does for a living. Oh, surprisingly, he can't answer that question. um, what does he do good for everybody? He says he does a lot of charity. It's like, what charity? Because most charities are like preventing um, good from being done. They just put band-aids and sustain all of the evil that's going on. So, but most of us, you'll probably argue with me because you can't really see it yet. But it's basically, food banks is the best way to see it. You can do charity work by providing food, spend all, put your money into the food, put your time into running a food bank, but zero effort is going into solving the problem that causes a person that needs food. Kind of was in that position, was really pissed off to see that there was nobody interested in stopping the crimes that were preventing me from earning my own food. So while this guy is saying that I'm worshiping evil and I'm, Lucifer's little partner in crime, basically, I'll throw those words back at him and say that he's Satan himself. He is nothing but a sinner. And while he can't reflect on himself, he won't look in the mirror and see where he is sinning. So the biggest sin that he's committing is judging me. He knows zero about me. He has no questions about me. He, just wants to say flat out that I'm evil because I don't believe in the things that he believes in. And, that's the biggest sin that his own friggin' Bible says not to do. Don't go around judging people. So if you go around judging people to be evil, you can't even look in a mirror and seeing how evil you are by committing a sin in judging another person. You're just creating a war, because if they ain't fighting words, I don't know what is. You're going to call me evil? You think I'm not going to come fighting back at you? But you know what? I know I am not involved in a fight or get even or revenge. I can forgive and forget everything that he's doing, because I know he just doesn't know what he's doing. It's like Jesus said, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. And, for a big part of the problem is religion is going to kill us. And even while this guy is saying that, yeah, there's a lot of bad Christians, he's admitting a lot of bad Christians around there, but he can't even see his, he's Christian, can't even see that he's part of it. He's judging everybody else. Everybody else is doing something wrong, but not me. Um, so I thought I would share one story that to me shows there's a lot of aspects of the Bible that are true, but I personally believe, Satan had a little role to play in that book, because most of these Christians, they don't worship God. There's zero effort in worshiping God. The only way they know God is through a book. They worship a book. And that book is nothing but text that can be misinterpreted and controlled. It's printed by a corporation. There's so many levels that you can manipulate humanity if you put a book together and say, this is it, this is God. God is in this book. And it's like, I call bullshit on that. And one aspect of it is spare the rod. And, so many people can misinterpret that. But basically, at the end of the day, it's you need to discipline your children. And whatever form of discipline, is justified within a Bible. Now, a lot of Christians, a lot of Catholics, a lot of religious people feel that that means you got to beat the shit out of your kids and get them to do what's right. Or any form of discipline is totally wrong in raising kids. And the story I want to share is I'm a parent that raised 4 kids. Now, I devoted my whole entire life to raising my children, to try and teach them the difference between right and wrong and provide them, everything that's good in life is what I thought I was doing as a good mother. I was a stay-at-home mother. I paid attention to what their needs were. I tried everything to give them the best that I possibly could. Did I discipline? Yeah. I fell into all of the bullshit that's going on right now. There's a hell of a lot of things wrong. I followed the medical professions. If you're sick, you go see a doctor. If you got problems, challenges, communication, you go see a counselor. Like I've gone through all of the professionals, the school systems. I mean, everybody's got an opinion about how you're supposed to raise your kids. And out of my child being like, maybe 2 or 3 years old, the first child that I had, I didn't want them playing with guns. But then my kids started shooting me with a banana, and that kind of opened my eyes to I have very little say in what goes on in my children's lives. The universe, the societies have more of an influence over what my children learn. And then if you have a spouse that, he has his own way of doing things, and they ain't exactly right, then you're at battle with your spouse. So, it's like, try and get along with your spouse, try and find that way, don't give up, go to your counseling, try and work through problems, be committed in your families. I did all of that stuff. I had no idea that he was as bad of a parent as he ended up turning out to be. And again, I can forgive him because his father taught him how to be the kind of parent that he is. He had no example. Society is teaching him what kind of parent to be. So, society judges him to be a very good person. But only I know what experience I was having. And while I'm going to share a story with you, by no means am I putting this perfect picture. I was the perfect parent. All I can say is I had the best intentions, and I followed all of the advice. I read all of the books. I, went to every friggin' church. I even joined Bible studies. I did everything known to man to try and find out the best way to solve problems and raise my kids. And so while I was following advice, there's no way I'm going to appear like the perfect mother. So, there's a definite dearest mummy story there that kids can tell. And they can definitely make a parent look bad. And I am not going to take that story away from them. Basically, what goes on, 2 people can be in the same room having the exact same experience and leave that room, and 2 are going to tell 2 totally different stories. Now, which story is going to be the truth? I believe my story is the truth, But you know what? My kids believe their version is the truth as well. So there's a war right there if you're trying to say, no, I'm right, no, I'm right, no, I'm right. That is not um, the way to go, but the way to go is trying to find truth in something. So I'm going to continue on the next tape.